Okay, so my name is Sky Streeter, and this is my Tools of the Trade project. I have done it over social networking within the classroom. We're going to start with talking about the origin of social networking. Social media, social networking, was first introduced in the world in 1997. The first social media site was called 6 Degrees. It was introduced in 1997. It was named after the 6 degrees of separation theory, and it lasted for about 4 years until 2001. 6 Degrees is like a smaller version of like Facebook, and it allowed you to friend other users and talk and all that, but it didn't allow the videos, the pictures, and all of that. In 2003, MySpace was created, and MySpace is still known today as like the first social media, which it really wasn't, but that's what most people remember. MySpace is again like Facebook, but not as advanced, and it allowed you to share videos or upload videos, really, and friend other users, talk to them. And then also LinkedIn was created in 2003. It's not used much today by the younger generation, such as MySpace was, but LinkedIn is used today for professional business people to stay linked. Air quotations around linked. Get it? LinkedIn. Okay. So in 2005, Facebook was created. Now everybody uses Facebook today. I use it constantly. I'm always on there. Mark Zuckerberg kind of set the bar for all other social medias. He created it in 2005, and it allows us to share pictures, videos, friend other people. I mean, it's used by almost, I think, over half the world, honestly. But also in 2005, Twitter was created by 4 different men, and it also serves as a hub for over 500 million users. In 2010, we have more of the recent social media, such as Instagram, Tumblr, even Snapchat. These all weren't created in 2010, but that's when this era of this social media began. And Instagram, it continues to climb and climb and climb over all other social media. It's becoming one of the most used and popular social medias. Tumblr is for more of microblogging, and on there you can see lots of GIFs and memes. It's kind of it's a funny little social media if you want a good laugh. And now we are going to look at how we would use some of these social networkings in the classroom. Um, Three of the most common used social networkings in the classroom is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Technology is advancing every single day. There is something new every single day. We can learn something new every single day that is technology related. 10 years ago, their teachers were lucky to even have one single computer in a classroom. But now we have iPads, laptops, tablets for almost every single student, and we now are developing smart boards. And most of these pages like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you can create private pages for like just your class, so you can friend or add the parents or guardians. And on Facebook, like I feel like that's probably the most used social network for this. It'll allow you to show off all the students' work, add pictures, videos of them. And with the messenger on Facebook, it will allow the teachers and parents to be in a constant communication with parents. So if it's like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, later in the night, and you have a question about your child's homework, it is easy to contact your teacher instead of having to wait the next day, or your child in trouble for not having homework done. You can also post reminders to the Facebook page, like tomorrow is Spirit Day, remember to wear this, and things like that. And you can also show the work that your students did that day and the lesson for that day, and then give examples for parents to use for the homework. And then on Twitter, this is more of like a social media to work with other schools. There's a thing called Twitter chat where you can chat with other classrooms, video chat, text chat, such like that. And you can even follow like educational leaders, like you can follow the president, you can follow Bill Nye the Science Guy, or you can follow many other like people who you could show off to your students. And then Instagram is really just a lot of photo sharing. There's nothing else you can really do with Instagram except share photos. And so with that, you can, again, create a private page for parents and show off their kids during the day, doing the work at recess, whatever. And you can share photos with the other classrooms and even create hashtags for certain events and activities, so parents can look under that hashtag and see all, like, the whole day's worth of what your child has done that day. And this is a chart of what you can use. Like if you're looking to search for something, you can use Ask, Bing, Google, or if you're looking for like a conversational app, you can look at Skype or even FaceTime if you have an Apple device. On here it shows Yahoo Messenger, which sadly was taken down and removed recently. Actually, I think within this last month, there's no more Yahoo Messenger. And it's just a chart. So whatever you need to do, like microblogging, it shows you what app you can use. You can use Twitter. That's, again, the Tumblr that I was talking about. If you want to do publishing, there's Wikipedia and all kinds of different apps like that. If you want to publish your work, your books, your essays, things like that. And now we're going to show how we can get social networking into the classrooms. Now, there are many, many pros to having social networking in classrooms. But with the pros, there's always cons. So getting the social networking into the classroom can become a challenge for some certain schools, because a lot of times either the parents won't allow their children's business to be out in the open, which normally it's not going to be out in the open for everyone to see, just for the parents of the children in your classroom, but still some parents don't even want that. And also, many schools still have policies against using social networking in classrooms, so that could also have a problem. And not often now, but there are still some parents who do live in rural areas, such as where I live. There's a lot of rural area where there's no internet access, or they don't have access to a computer or anything like that. Now we're going to move on to the pros. There are many positive reasons to have a social networking within the class. It keeps the parents actively involved and informed and in constant communication. It has up-to-date information and pictures if you need it for your child. And you can keep in that constant communication between parents and teachers, which is very, very good and should always be there. And I'm going to talk about now some of the most popular social networkings that are used. And like I told you earlier, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, those are the top 3 most used. Often Snapchat can be used. Again, that's just pictures, but they don't say more than 24 hours, and you have to add just the parents. Twidgicate, okay, that's like Twitter. It's the same thing as Twitter, but not as broad as Twitter, I guess. It's made for specifically teachers and parents and students. So you have to sign up as a school, not as like an individual. And only educational things can be posted and talked about. So that's kind of Twitter, but I guess safer, maybe not as public. And then Skype is just a video conferencing type of thing. You can Skype other classrooms. You can Skype teachers and parents and things like that. And then LinkedIn, I did talk about that, where it's mainly for professional business people, but can also be used in schools. Google Hangouts. It's similar to Skype, but it's just through Google, and it's a video conferencing. It's used more by schools than Skype is, because Google is a like school app that a lot of schools use, like go through Google for like the docs and the spreadsheets and all of that stuff. And now we are going to look at some of the benefits of social networking. Kids can develop social skills a lot easier through social networking, because they can communicate with all kinds of people. And one of the things that I love is that there's endless knowledge and resources on the internet for millions of things. If you have a question, there's probably the answer on Google or on some kind of website. And with the social networking being a real time, it's you can stay up to date on news, events, what just happened. Normally, if something happens 10 minutes later, you can find a whole article about it on the internet. That's really neat. I mean, there are pros and cons to that too, but I feel like it's just very, very neat. There's instant communication. So, like if you message somebody, that alert will come straight up on their phone, kind of like a text message, but you can do it through various different kinds of applications, and the ability to reach globally. In older times, you weren't able to reach globally without like sending mail, and that would take weeks. But now, it's almost instant to be global, and students can learn about other cultures, customs, and things. And with using social networking in the classroom, kids can also learn internet safety. They can use this safety outside of the classroom. So if they're using a social network for their own like benefit, then at least they will know what is what is safe, what's not safe, and things like that. And now we're going to look at who can benefit from social networking. Almost everyone, parents, students, teachers, everyone can benefit from this. Parents, normally most parents now are on some kind of social media, so it's a lot easier to check, say, the class Facebook page over trying to figure out where their child left the paper, if they lost the paper, and things like that the teacher had sent home. So it cuts down having to send home a lot of letters, and then the ability to communicate quickly with teachers is a lot easier than waiting till the next day and having to call them or go up there and meet them. And the students benefit more than I think anyone else, because they learn so many technological skills that will keep them up to date, and they can use outside of school when they're doing their own like career, and then there's endless knowledge. Like I said earlier, endless knowledge of anything. And there's a lot of development of real world skills that are needed outside of school, because most jobs now do require people to be up to date on technology. And teachers can benefit from this by being able to share photos, be in communication with parents. And then so now we're going to look at what some of the best ways to use social networking in the classrooms. Getting students to blog is very, very fun and helpful. So they will be able to share what they're passionate about, and then they'll be able to show their peers what they love, and then the peers can talk about it, and they can all learn about new things, and they'll want to do that because that's something they are passionate about. And a big thing now is pinning. There's an app called Pinterest where you can pin ideas that you like. So if there's an activity going on the lesson for the day, you can allow your students to get on Pinterest and pin things that related to the lesson for that day, and that'd be very exciting. You can get new ideas for activities, games, things of that sort. And you can also create video channels. Like in my old high school, we created a video channel for our school. We talked about the news going on within the school, the weather for that day, and it's a really fun thing to do. And hashtagging has become one of the biggest things in the world, actually. You can create competitions and games using hashtags, and you can post pictures. Whoever has the best pictures can win. It gets the whole school involved, and even the community. And setting up pages and profiles for your classroom, there's a lot of different things. Like before you set up your page, make sure that your school allows it, and make sure each page is private. And after getting the okay from your school, ask the parents what they would and would not want to see, and then create rules and procedures for the page. Don't single out any student on the page. Make sure every student shines, is receiving the same attention, and like all of them, because you don't want one parent to think, oh, well, my teacher doesn't like my child, or they favor other children. And I'm going to talk about how social networking leaves an impact on students and parents and teachers. Giving students and parents a basic understanding of technology by using smartphones, devices, computers, and even tablets to access this, it gives them a knowledge on how to do that. And using social networking at early stages of development can allow students to master it, so eventually once they do get out of school, they can have those skills to use for their new job. And this also shows students that there is a world outside of the classroom, and it gets them connected to the entire world. and which is I feel it's really great. And